Hello everyone, welcome to Sharmit. In this session, we are going to discuss about another topic related to shell script, where we will learn what is EGID. Now, EGID is a effective group ID that we use in order to fetch the effective group ID. Now, what is to explain this thing in a detail, what I'll do, I'll tell you the difference between EGID and EUID. Okay, because this is one of the most important question for interview perspective, because sometime like you might face this question like what right, tell me the difference between EGID and EUID. Okay, so to give you a better understanding, I have noted down the definition as well as the purpose as well as the uses of this thing, EGID. Okay, so firstly, we will understand about the EGID. EUID we have already covered in previous session, and then later we will discuss on the differences. Once theoretical part is complete, then we will see how we can create a shell script that can print out this EGID. Okay, and post that, like after discussing everything related to shell script, we will see the process through execute the shell script through CL program. So for that I'm going to session B here. Now I'll show you the theoretical things first. Now what is EGID? EGID stands for effective group ID. EGID means effective group ID. Now you can read out the definition here. The effective group ID or EGID is similar to EUID but applies to group permissions. Okay, so it will work same, like it is used for the same purpose, but the only difference is that it will work for the group where EUID is working for the it was working only for the user specific things, but it will work for the group specific thing. Okay, if you remember in previous session we discussed like EUID is used to grant permission for the resource allocation or and all, it is used as a uniquely identification number for a process. Okay, so same thing goes with EGID as well, but it will work and it will consider only the group related things. So this is the only difference between EGID and EUID. So first difference, you can tell the definition. Okay, and you can tell the full form of EGID and EUID, although don't just tell the full form of the EGID EUID in the interview, because it doesn't give a good impact on the interviewer. You should explain it in a detailed way, like yes, EGID is used for the group related permission, where EUID is used for the effective user ID is used for the for granting or denying the permissions for resource related allocation. Okay, fine. Later here it is written as it determines the group level access permission for process. Okay, so it what it determine the group level access permission for the process. Then we have purpose. What is the purpose of EGID? EGID is used to check group level access permissions for the process, allowing and denying access to files and resources based on group ownership. Okay, so this is the purpose, overall purpose of EGID. Then we have uses. What is the uses? When a process tries to access a file or resource, the operating system checks the file group permission against the process EGID to decide whether to grant or deny the access. I think this is a straightforward explanatory line for you. Like just assume a scenario, there is a process A which is trying to access the file or any other particular resource. Then what operating system will do? It will check the file's group permission against the process EGID, because as I mentioned, every group is assigned with some EGID number. So process will check the file's group permission against those EGID, and then later it will decide whether to grant the permission or whether to deny the permission. Okay, so I think now it is clear that yes, in case of group permission, EGID is very important. In case of user specific things, EUID is very important. So this is just the theoretical description of EGID. Now what we will do, we will see the practical things. So for that, here I'm going to write work lnk, which will open this work with object link screen. Now on this work with object link screen, if I do page down, you will see there is one directory that I always use for the demo purpose. So I'm taking option 5 here. Then I'll go down and look for my file, which is sharmit.sh, taking option 2 here. And just for the time being, I'm removing this line because I'm going to show you it from scratch. So today we are going to discuss about EGID. So to get or to fetch the EGID, you can simply write echo. Echo is mainly for printing, but we are firstly getting the information and then printing it. So echo space effective. If you know the full form of these two things, EGID and EUID, then it would be a bit easier for you to explain the things to interviewer, right? Because from short form itself, from the full form itself, you can tell the differences. So effective group ID. Now to fetch the value, you will use the special parameter EGID with dollar. Okay, so just press F3 for save and exit. Go to session B. Okay, let me hide this thing. Fine. So here let me go back, and here I'll write QSH, which will open the Qshell command prompt. Now on this Qshell command prompt, you can simply write home slash Sharmit slash tech Sharmit slash Sharmit.sh and then enter. So once you hit enter, you can see effective group ID for this user is 0. Okay, it means we don't have any kind of group related permission. All right, now let me show you the difference also. Like right now, if I try to print effective user ID, you will see that effective user ID is print with EUID. Okay, so if I do F3 for save and exit, it will take me to this screen. Now I'll try to run the same script again, slash home. This is the path. Always try to write path from scratch so that it will give you the habit of writing the path in a correct way, and also you will learn the path, okay, instead of taking 9 for the initial days. Later on you can use the copy paste, that's not an issue. .sh and enter. So now you can see it is printing both the things, which is effective group ID 0 and effective user ID 21705. Clear? So yeah, I think now these all practical things are clear to you, like how to print the effective user ID and effective group ID. Now I'll quickly show you how we can execute the shell script through CL program. We will use the same example again. So here I'll write work mbrpdm. Then this is the program that I have already created. So program name is run qsh hash, which is for running a shell script using CL program. So to run the shell script from CL program, we need to declare one variable. Write DCL, take F4. Sorry, I by mistake. Yeah, fine. Take F4. Then variable name is command, type is character, storage is auto, and length is 256. Then simply hit enter and take F4 for chgvar. Provide your variable name slash home Sharmit tech Sharmit.sh is the path of our file, and then later you can use strqsh. So what strqsh will do, it will execute the script which is present in this path, in this particular path. So my variable name is command, then simply hit enter. So we are ready with this thing. Okay, so now we are good to compile this program and call it. So after calling it, you can see it is printing the both line, effective group ID, which is 0, and effective user ID 21705. If you remember, in our last session also we discussed the effective user ID. There we discussed it, and it was that time also it was it was populated as 21705. Okay, so yeah, these are the two things which I would like to share with you all in this session. So mainly what we discuss what is effective group ID and effective user ID differences. Effective user ID we discussed in last session, effective group ID we have discussed in this session. So difference is clear. We discussed each and everything in a theoretically as well as practically. So I think now we are good for today. In the next session, we will discuss another topic in the same manner. We will discuss the theoretical thing the command as well as one practical example. Okay, as I mentioned earlier also, command is straightforward. You just need to understand the concept, the theory, and uh, the scenarios where we can utilize it. Okay, so yeah, that's all for today. Thank you for watching Qshell.